Well, here's one of those things I've been looking for. Ancient brick structure underneath the arch, just like they usually are. It's the only one around. Probably can't see it on the camera, but there's a little cliff house right there, little ancient Indian house. Supposed to be a lot of them in this area, but they're hard to find. A lot of climbing, uphill, a lot of rocks. It's kind of hot. I don't know how much time I'll spend here. It would take a very long time to go through all of this, but it's still nice being here. Look at this place. Well, here's one of those things I've been looking for. Ancient brick structure underneath the arch, just like they usually are. It's the only one around here. Unfortunately, this is an official site, so you can't go up there. Still, it's very cool walking up on something like that. See if I can find some more. It's not the Grand Canyon, but it's kind of grand. It's called the Canyon of the Ancients. Just a little west of Cortez, Colorado. There's some ancient structures still here that we're allowed to go to, and I'm sure there's a lot that we're not allowed to go to. You know, video doesn't do it justice. Never does. You have to be here and see this. There's a nice impressive canyon too. And if you can see, right there is an ancient building, and then right there. Kind of small, definitely broken down, definitely old. I don't know how close I can get to them. The trail goes downhill from here. We'll see. It's very warm out. It's probably only in the 70s, but with the sun and the dry air, it's very warm. And I can smell the pines. So nice. No humidity. It's great. And it's gonna get rough. It's a nice big cave. I would imagine the building actually went a lot farther. You can tell it did go farther along the top there. Pretty well damaged. But you know, they were smart when they built these things under this huge cave, out of the rain, out of the sun. And then when it rained, it'd just pool up down here and they could collect the water. There's speculation as to why they built them so high. And I've heard two theories. One is that the water level was higher up here at the time. They just canoed right to them. And the other is as time went on, they started fighting each other, even cannibalizing each other when they killed one another. And so they did this to keep them away from the enemy. So I think probably both are true. This is a pretty good one. 2 levels. There's a hole in the top one. Don't know if they went through that or around the side. Part of it missing here. Not quite as big of a cave. And it's definitely getting sunshine, so maybe it was just to get out of the rain. But yeah, this is definitely, creek bed down there when it rains. So who knows? The water level may have been higher back then, and they were able to just float right to it. I know there's a lot of places in Arizona, New Mexico, where they're just way up there, and you just can't get to them. And so those probably were put up there to keep it away from the enemies. Really, for this big of area, and for being a couple of these, there's one more I'm going to look at. There really isn't a whole lot. I mean, there could be more down in there, but for this area, it's not a whole lot. So I don't know if they know what they were used for, grain storage or a house. I don't know. It's definitely a pretty cool thing to see, coming right out here and being where they built it, where they walked. Went up in elevation, got to the nice pine trees. This place is called the Sand Creek Pueblo, and it's estimated that a couple of hundred people lived here in the late 1200s, but right now it's nothing but rubble. This one didn't do so well. It's pretty big, as you can see. But it's fallen over and covered by dirt, weeds, hardly anything recognizable. Would have used to be walls. It's too bad, just pile of rocks now. Pueblo's right around in there, so this would have been their view. There's probably more stuff down there too. This actually connects to those other places I was just at. It's one long trail about 6 miles, and I didn't do it all because at one point the elevation rises like 700 feet. So I didn't do that. I just drove around and came here, which I'm kind of glad, because if I'd walked this whole way I would have been really disappointed. Just seen a pile of rubble. But that's the trail. You can go all the way down there. Long walk. There's a sign here that says most archaeological sites are unexcavated to preserve them for the future. And if they are excavated, they're sometimes reburied after study. So it makes me wonder if all this rubble isn't piled up the way it is because there is still a good kiva under there, good walls, and they just buried it. And that kind of makes sense to leave it. By the way, this is Canyon Pueblo. I think I may have said Sand Creek more than once. And that first area was Sand Canyon in the Canyon of the Ancients. So there's a Sand Creek a little further west, but I'm not going there. It's not as good as this. Well, this is where I'm staying for the night, right on top of this valley. There's the van. I'll tell you more about it later. I never finished anything in it.